Bueno, Tony Gonzalez here, coming at you from Crystal City, Texas, also known as Cristal. And in the streets, it's called El Vidrio. We are the Spanish capital of the world, the home of Popeye, and the birthplace of La Raza Unida Party. And I say that with pride, because I was part of it. Founder, member, and I still am. Legally, we don't have La Raza Unida Party anymore, but La Raza Unida Party is here, and it's here. Anyway, I want to share some of the my experiences I had in Crystal City or Cristal, and I'm going to share with you a story that I never knew that I was going to get into any type of trouble or anything that would cause me to be in a place where I shouldn't have been. But it did happen, and it happened quite often. So I'm going to take you to about 1972 or so. La Raza Unida Party had already been established, 1970, and by 72, we had already elected a couple of county officials. One of the county officials that we had elected was Ray Perez. Ray Perez became the Zavala County attorney. And we had a very, very important election coming up. This was, I think, 74. We needed to elect, of course, other officials, but it was very important that we had to elect a county judge. Jose Angel Gutierrez had filed for the position of county judge, and we had to have him there. So there was a lot of excitement. People were ready. People were anxious, and they were able. They went all out, and it seemed like the whole community was part of it. So one day before the election, or a night before the election, Ray Perez called us in, whoever was going to work in the elections. And we used the courtroom, the courtroom. And Ray Perez had every single one. And there were so many, because we had one or two presiding judges. We had some assistances. We had a lot of clerks. And we had people that are going to run the streets, people that are going to prepare the food, people that are going to use their cars, and election workers of every type, and getting ready with the tables and chairs and everything that goes along with an election. Well, he called us in and gave us a job description of each one of us. The presiding judges, the assistants, the clerks, everyone, people that are going to work the streets, passing ballots, taking people to the polling places. And he also instructed special deputies of the election, into which I had been appointed as a special deputy of the election. And I was excited. Let me tell you, I was excited. Because when they said if I wanted to be a special deputy, I said, whoa, that is cool. I said, do I get to wear like a badge and a gun? They said, yeah. Oh, it's more than cool. Yeah, Southwest Texas lawman. Wow. So, yeah, I was excited. And a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Ramon Garza, I think we had him as a chief of police at the time. He says, you know what, here, I'll lend you a badge and a pistol. Cool. So now I'm wearing a pistol and a badge. So everybody got their instructions, and then it came to us. And one thing that really tattooed in my mind was when he was giving us instructions, he said, listen, you have to remember this. You have the power of a district judge. And wow, I said, man, that's even better. Not only am I going to be a special deputy, now I have the power of a district judge. Cool. So anyway, he said, now everybody to go home, rest, have a good night's sleep, be ready. And I want you, everyone, the election started at 7 o'clock. I want you there, everyone, at 6 o'clock. Be early. Be early. Have your credentials ready. All those of you who are going to be poll watchers, have your credentials ready because they're going to ask for them. And I said, yeah. So everybody started to walk out. And as I was walking out, my friend Ray said, Tony, I need to talk to you. I said, oh, sure. Yeah. He said, let everybody leave. So everybody cleared the courthouse. He said, now he's very serious. He said, listen, I don't want you to go to Batesville because that was the precinct that I was directed to be in. And I said, I want you to go to Batesville. I said, why not? He said, look, I got word that they're going to send a Texas Ranger over there. And he said, this Texas Ranger said, he didn't care who was sent up there. He was not going to have anyone allowed into the polling place. And let me tell you, and I believe that Texas Ranger was Jack Van Cliff or someone. He said, look, this Ranger is a mean Ranger. He wouldn't hesitate to shoot anybody, gringos, Mexicans, I don't care what. He wouldn't hesitate. And I don't want to take that chance. If you're going to be there, who knows what's going to happen? And besides, we may even win anyway. We got so many votes. So just don't go there. And nobody will ever know anyway. I said, Ray, you'll know that I didn't go. I have to go. I was appointed. And see, I really looked up to Ray, and I still do. He is now our senior district judge in San Antonio, I believe. Now, I knew him as a little kid, and I looked up to him. Why? Because he was military. He became the first chief of police, Hispanic chief of police. He was an attorney, and now he's a Zavala County attorney. And he's just a good friend. And I said, look, Ray, I have to go. If I was appointed to this place, I have to go. He said, all right. If you're going to go, let me tell you. This Ranger, I'm told he has 3 rifles, 2 long rifles. He's got a 12-gauge shotgun, a high-power rifle, and a 30-30 Winchester. Right in his in the middle, right in front of the dashboard, and he carries 2 pistols, 2 .45 caliber pistols. Now this Ranger carries 2, right side backwards, and they're both cocked and ready to go. So you have to watch out for this guy. I said, okay, I'll remember that. So in the morning, needless to say, I don't know if I ever slept that night, but anyway, I was picked up by 2 young teachers, Jean Ruiz and Ambrosio Melendres. And we went to Batesville. Now, Batesville is about 35 miles away, so, we got a good 30, 40 minutes right up there. And I do believe that they were very nervous because, they were making light of everything. They were laughing at everything they said, they would laugh about it. And I was back there, and I knew I had to break their bubble sooner or later. And, they carried on, and they were laughing at anything, and like they had no worries at all. But I saw them that they were very nervous, and I think that helped me to calm me down because I was concentrating on them. Well, right before getting there, I said, all right, guys, heads up, listen up. And I told them what could happen. Then they became silent. Now, when we were getting there, I saw this 1-room frame. It looked like an old schoolhouse. The lights were in, but I could see one light hanging from the ceiling, which lit the whole place. And I didn't see any cars out there. So when we got there, I said, all right, you have your credentials. And listen, if anything happens, this Texas Ranger is here. And even if, God forbid, if he shoots me and I go down, you stay there. Unless your life is in danger, then you get out. But let me handle it. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what I was going to do. So we got there. We went right in. But there was no car there. I mean, there was no Ranger. Right in front of us was this real tall, slankly, old white dude. White kind of cowboy guy. Never seen him in my life. And he said, listen, this polling place is called, and I am the presiding judge, and you're not allowed to be. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm the special deputy of this election, and I got 2 poll watchers. He says, well, I'm not going to accept any poll watchers because I have an option. If I don't see that there's enough room here for poll watchers, I'm entitled to not having them. And there's no room. I said, well, look, listen up. The gentlemen here, they have the proper credentials. And they're going to be poll watchers. He says, well, I won't allow them. I'll tell you what, if you don't allow them, I'm going to have to place you under arrest. He placed me under arrest. Yes, sir. Yeah, right under arrest. He said, well, why don't you wait? Because somebody is going to show up. I say, you know what? There's nobody here. And the election is going to start and people are going to start coming in to vote. And this place has got to be running, up and running. And we can't afford to lose any more time. Now, either you're going to accept them or you are under arrest. Now, I didn't have any handcuffs. I didn't have a car. So the only thing I had was a big bluff. And it worked. He said, well, if that's the case, okay. If I don't have a choice, I'll have to accept them. I said, good. So they gave me their oath and they stayed, and I went out. By that time, a friend of mine, Ramon Monche Mata, had told me, he says, I'll meet you over there. And when I was walking out, I saw his car coming in. Now, let me tell you something about Monche Mata. Monche Mata is about 6'3", 300 plus pounds, wearing a sleeveless army jacket with a brown beret, long hair sticking out. You know, I guess you could say he's an activist and concerned people. Anyway, he says, what's going on? I said, look, man, he didn't know what was going on. And I told him, look, this is why I was told that this guy was going to show up. And he didn't show up. He says, God. Well, anyway, so a truck stopped, 2 or 3 trucks drove in. And there were some, I think, Gringo ranchers, you know, the kind that have pickups with rifles on the back window and stuff. And then another one showed up. By the time I knew it, there was about 5 of them. And they say, what the hell is going on? Who does that guy think he is? They had poll watchers in there. Who let him in? He says, well, this guy, the deputy. What? He doesn't look like a deputy. Let me tell you. I didn't have the proper attire. I had a blue jean jacket, blue jeans. I had a badge. It was under my jacket. I had a pistol stuck in front of my pants. And he said, who does he think he is? I'll tell you what. Once the Ranger gets here, he's going to have his. Oh, yeah. Texas Ranger is going to take him in. And he said, oh, yeah. And everybody's talking. And I'm just looking straight at them, trying to make no facial expressions, just a serious one, and just looking at them. Then we heard it coming. The monster is here. We heard squealing of tires coming through town. It was a Ranger. He was late. And, he was coming in. I'm telling you, the squealing of tires says, there he is. Now this guy's going to get his. It's his turn. Oh, yeah. They're going to kick those poll watchers out of here. So this guy whips in, and I'm telling you, because we had, it was a paved road when he was coming in. But the place that we were in, the parking place, it was just dirt, dust. That's all it was. When he went in there, he was fishtailing in there, and he kicked up a storm of dust. I couldn't see anything. But I did see the ranchers going right to his car. And I could hear him say, "This guy allowed the poll watcher." They were screaming and hollering, and Monch standing behind me, and I was there blank, except for one thing that came into my mind. It's a Mexican saying. It says, when you're in trouble, sáltale al toro. When you're in trouble, face the bull. So I took a deep breath and I went, "All right, all you bunch of dumbasses, get out of my way. You, move out of my way. You, get out of my way." And I flashed my badge, and he looked at me, and he did a real shucking thing. He shucked me. Because when I flashed my badge, I said, "Are you Texas Ranger?" And he looked at me, and he rolled up. Rolled up. Most of you people don't know what that is, because now you have push buttons automatic. He rolled up his window, and he left like a 2-inch gap. And he said, "Who the hell are you?" I said, "I am a special deputy of this election, and you are late. I don't need you here." He says, "Listen, I understand that you have the power of a district judge." He says, "I sure do." I said, "So do I." Then I opened my jacket so he could see my pistol. Now, when this is happening, I'm looking inside his car, and Ray Perez, my good friend, the county attorney, was right. He had 3 rifles: a shotgun, 30 caliber rifle, Winchester, and a high-power rifle. And he did have his 2 guns, right side out, backwards, and they were both done. I said, "Now, and I'm going to tell you something. You're late, and I don't need you right now. I got everything going. But I'll tell you what, you're going to get the hell out of here, but you better be back before 7 o'clock tonight, because I know that you have a court order to pick up the ballot boxes, and if you ain't here, I'm going to take them. Now move, vámonos." He put it in reverse. And then the spinning of the tires went again and kicked up another storm, and he headed north. Now, the Gringo Ranchers are saying, "What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened?" And the dust cleared. Now I got a different look in my eye. I have an evil eye now. An evil eye. I said, "All right, heads up, listen up. If you're here to vote, get your ass in there and vote. If you already voted and don't want to vote, get the hell out of here. You're lowering the polls of the election. Now move it." You know what Keystone Cops is? Maybe not. Everybody's going like this, and the trucks almost hitting each other. Everybody cleared out. And I still have my chest stuck in up, right? And I went to my friend Monche, and Monche was just sitting there. "What the hell was that?" I said, "I kicked out a Texas Ranger. The election went well. Everything went smooth. And guess what? We got a new county judge and others elected. It worked. We did it. La Raza Unida Party is now in control of the county." How's that? I'm going to add one more little small detail. When everything was said and done, we won the election, blah, 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 everything was done. I went to take back the badge and the gun. And when I got there, my friend Ramon says, "Hey, Tony, I didn't know there was going to be trouble." I say, "Oh, did you hear I went to the Texas Ranger?" He says, No, that's not what I mean. The gun that I gave you, what about it? It doesn't work." I said, "What? It doesn't work." I thought you might accidentally shut your foot off or it go by itself. So I didn't know it was going to be trouble. So I give you one that doesn't work. My friend, thank you very much. I'm alive. I'm still here. That's one of the experiences. True story. Hope you enjoyed it.